So when you are ready to put this on, it's got a little footy here, which goes in. A little footy down here at the bottom. It's important to try not to break that, because this goes nicely. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You gotta kind of, and it sits in there. What is not on this particular one, only because it was already opened, is this same material will be a little slide right here, and you take that off first. It's just to keep this from opening up. And this needs to be here, because this, when it goes to suction, you're going to see it all squishes down. Of note, since we're on that particular part right now, as this fills up, just do this. This is the way it would normally set to a regular drainage tube. What's going to happen here, clamp, this is going to go here, red, blue. This is going to be coming from the patient. So it's like that, unclamp, unclamp, and then the drainage is now going to bypass this section altogether and is going to drain directly into here. When this gets full, or I usually used to do it up to like 600, no more, because if you get too much in here, it doesn't drain well because of the filter, plus it clots too much. This is like any other blood product. It has to be in within the first 4 hours. So in other words, if this is sitting on the floor with the patient over 4 hours, you can't use it. Try and use it. There's no real policy that we ever had, but if you do more than 2 hours, generally it starts to clot and you can't use it anyway. So that being said, you're now filling up here, suction. These 600 here, you'll note off suction gravity, 600 here. So as it's sucked in tight, it's get the blood all the way up here as opposed to off suction. You can use this not on suction and just have it at gravity drainage, but we've never used it that way, and I can't imagine why you'd want to do that, because you probably wouldn't want to be giving that blood back anyway. But if you want to save a clear back, the actual system, you can use one of these. Anyway, that being said, I don't know if we can actually get this to look like it's on suction. Can we? Let's see the difference. Let's give it a shot. All right, there we go. See how it squishes all in? That's why you have these metal pieces. Otherwise, the whole thing would squish in on itself. Take it off suction, and it opens back up. So it may look funny. We are at 500 here. All of a sudden, you look like you only got this much when it's off suction onto gravity, and that's why. So let's say you now got this thing. You got 500 cc's. You're ready to give the blood. You're either going to put a new one on if you're still bleeding, or you're going to put it back to the patient. If you're going to give it back, you would just simply clamp, put the new one on in its place. Just set this aside. If you're going back to the patient, again, you're going to clamp. You're going to clamp your patient. And the way that it is now, of course, you'll have gloves on. That would go back to the patient, and now it's going to drain directly in here. Remember to unclamp your tubing. This one is going to go here to here, and then you're ready to go. You're going to take it off the top here, off the footy. You're going to take that piece off that I said was here. This is going to come off. This here is a one-way valve, so you take that part off. You've got your filter. If I can get it open, there we go. This thing, very, very sharp, very, very pokey. This happened way too many times way back when we used to use this a lot. This is a very thick plastic. It's hard to get in there. You gotta super get it in there. And it takes some doing. And you'll know when you got it, of course, because then the blood will come. Safety note, do not turn it like this. There's no check valve in here. It will drain all over the place, even with this cap on. Keep it up. Take that part off. over to your blood tubing, just like you would hang on any other blood tubing. And he goes directly in there. This guy gets hung like that. You close that one, you open this one, and it'll drain through just like it would with any others. There's a couple little things. It doesn't drain as well as a normal unit of blood would because it's not anticoagulated. So depending on how long it's been sitting there, that's why I say get the 2-hour mark, or when it gets to be 500 or 600, you go ahead and hang it because you're going to end up with clot in here. If you hold it sideways, the clot goes to the bottom, and then you can help to suck it out. If you do get clot in here, just squirt the blood back into itself, and it will blow the clot off, and then try again, get the clot down to the side. Half the time we were being very ingenious on how to make it run, because sometimes we have 2 of these going. When it's done, you discard the same way as you would the other one. If you're not putting another one on, you just leave it like that. If you're putting another one on, exact same way we just did it. And I don't think I missed anything. Maybe.